We begin today's wrestling news and rumors video with some potentially big news regarding former Intercontinental Champion and current NXT commentator Wade Barrett. While Wade has been doing some great work on commentary for NXT since his return to the company back in 2020, a lot of fans have wondered about the possibility of Wade Barrett possibly deciding to wrestle again in the future. Now, there's no doubt that Wade's likely a bit removed from his prime at 42 years of age, but there's little doubt that he could still be able to perform well if given the chance. And in a recent interview, Wade Barrett talked about possibly wrestling again for WWE. And here's what Wade had to say on the matter. Quote, "Yeah, I can still move. I can still lift. My body is feeling good. I've always said that I'm in good shape, I'm healthy, and if the right opportunity presents itself at my door, then maybe we'll see Wade Barrett return in the ring one day. I'm not chasing anything. Sometimes guys start floating ideas out because they secretly want to get back into the ring. I love my gig in NXT. I love commentating. I'm the happiest I've ever been, so I don't have sort of a strange itch I'm trying to desperately scratch. But with that being said, I don't think you ever really retire when you are a wrestler. So if the right opportunity presents itself at the right time, then yeah, we might see me back in the ring at some point." With Triple H now in charge of creative for WWE, there's actually a much better chance that Wade Barrett eventually wrestles again, although whether it would be in NXT or the main roster of Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown would remain to be seen. Let us know your thoughts on Wade Barrett potentially wrestling again in the near future for WWE, and is this something you'd like to see? And if Wade Barrett was to be brought back to the ring, would you like to see Wade perform in NXT, or possibly return to the main roster and go after the Intercontinental Championship, for example? Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Now, one of the biggest wrestling news stories of the year was surrounding the whole walkout of WWE from Sasha Banks and Naomi, and at the time it seemed like the two former women's champions could have been done with WWE, with there previously being rumors that Naomi and or Sasha Banks could have been on their way to AEW All Elite Wrestling. However, in the time since, it has basically been reported that both Sasha Banks and Naomi are on their way back to WWE, after agreeing with the company to come back. And with Triple H now running things from a creative standpoint on the main roster, it's really no surprise that Sasha Banks and Naomi would want to return, as they will definitely receive the attention, spotlight, and great booking that they desire. As far as when Sasha Banks is going to be returning, there have been rumors going around that WWE will likely wait until the whole Women's Tag Team Championship tournament is over, but once it is, we will likely be finally seeing Sasha Banks come back to WWE, along with Naomi. Sasha Banks has clearly been training very hard in preparation for her impending comeback to WWE, as this new photo was revealed on social media, showcasing Sasha Banks in tremendous shape ahead of her return. It's likely that WWE will keep Sasha Banks and Naomi as a tag team for a bit longer when they do inevitably return, but there's absolutely no doubt that Triple H will have plans for Sasha Banks to once again chase the SmackDown Women's Championship in the pretty near future. And by all means, most fans will likely agree that Sasha Banks deserves another major push in WWE, especially with everything that has happened this year. It appears as though a current tag team in WWE could be splitting up in the very near future, and that said tag team is none other than Doudrop and Nikki ASH. Now, for those of you unaware, on Friday Night SmackDown this past week, Natalya and Sonya Deville were featured in a backstage interview, and clearly noticeable in the background, Nikki ASH and Doudrop were shown arguing with each other, and this was reportedly done on purpose for storyline reasons according to one of our sources. Apparently, WWE are planning for Nikki ASH and Doudrop to split up and go their separate ways in the near future, and there's no doubt that this will be leading to a feud or rivalry between Doudrop and Nikki once their tag team breakup inevitably happens. However, there are reports going around right now that Nikki ASH is dealing with an injury following SmackDown this past week, during the whole 4-way Second Chance WWE Women's Tag Team Title Tournament match, so the breakup of Nikki ASH and Doudrop may be a bit delayed as a result. Whether you like him or not, Theory is clearly being positioned in WWE as one of the superstars of the future, and he's already achieved quite a bit on the main roster, including the United States Championship and the Money in the Bank briefcase, which Theory currently holds and is now waiting for the perfect opportunity to cash in. However, some fans believe that Theory's push in WWE could be toned down now that Vince McMahon is no longer running things, as Vince was definitely the biggest supporter of Theory, and now that he's gone, some fans feel like things will be different with Triple H in charge, and that Theory won't be pushed as much. With that said, current backstage rumors indicate that Triple H as well sees lots of potential in Theory, so his push likely won't be slowing down too much moving forward. Many have compared Theory to a young John Cena, and in a recent interview, Theory talked about the comparisons between himself and John Cena, and basically being the next face of the company. And here's what Theory had to say, quote, "I will always appreciate that just because of being a kid at 8 years old and seeing John Cena for the first time really inspired me to do what I'm doing now. It's made a career and pretty much set up my whole life, so there's always going to be that appreciation for that comparison. But for me, I just want to be my own and I want to do my own thing. I think oftentimes when somebody's on a come up, people are always going to jump to, oh, he does this like this one, or he looks like this one. And that's great because people are always going to do that. But I think with time, everybody's going to know that Theory is a standalone name." Now let us know your thoughts on the comparisons between Theory and John Cena, and do you believe that Theory is essentially going to be the next face of WWE and a top superstar? Or do you feel like his push may be coming to an end now that Triple H is in charge of creative, and should it? Or do you think that Theory has lots of potential as a future star for WWE? Now there are breaking new backstage rumors going around right now that Triple H is basically planning to redesign some of the current championship belts in WWE, and according to one of our sources, there are talks behind the scenes for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship belts to be redesigned, possibly into one title for the time being, until the championships are split up in the future, where it would be likely that an additional new title would be revealed for the WWE Championship belt. As of right now, there's no clear word on the new designs that Triple H is planning, but here are some great examples made by fans of possible new belt designs that could be on Triple H's radar. However, according to a new backstage report, Roman Reigns does not reportedly like the idea of his undisputed WWE Universal Championship belts being redesigned, as he likes having the two belts, but that's really not something that Roman Reigns will have any control of, as Triple H will be making the final decisions. Let us know your thoughts on Triple H planning to redesign some of the company's championship belts in the near future, and which titles do you feel are the most in need of a change besides the undisputed WWE Universal Championship?